Zero subscribers here, and welcome to another brand new Minecraft video. First of all, I haven't uploaded since February. I've been busy for a few months, and that's kind of the main reason. Like, making videos takes a long time, so I just haven't had the time till about now. Like, only about now have I just started to have enough time to make videos again, and this is the first video I thought I'd make. And I'm recording this, and it is one day until Minecraft 1.21 releases. So it's the 12th of June 2024 right now, and I thought before that update we would go back and just look back at every single Minecraft update since, well, I mean, I guess the first one is the release of the game. And also, yeah, I guess it could also be to celebrate 10 years, not 10, I don't know why I said 10 years, 15 years of Minecraft. So that is essentially what we're doing in today's video. It's probably not going to be the most reliable one, because I made this lab basically, as you can see, and it just kind of goes through all the years. So right now we're in 2011, and the first update ever to Minecraft was 1.0. It was also the official release of Minecraft. Now, this might be one of the best updates ever had to Minecraft. I'm not even joking. The first update / release of Minecraft was insane. It added so many things that are so common in today's world. Like, these things wouldn't exist without them. So, as you can see, it added a lot of stuff. This update did an insane amount. It added brewing stands, cauldrons, the dragon egg, and just the ender dragon in general, endstone, enchanting tables, the end portal itself, lily pads, podzol, or that's not podzol, is it? It's the mushroom one, the mushroom island. All of the nether brick, nether wart, and it added a ton of mobs like villagers, snow golems, magma cubes, blazers, baby versions of everything, even though that isn't a baby anymore. That was when I placed it down originally. It added the mushroom mob as well, and then it added all items that are right. Why? I feel like because there's so many mobs, this world is really laggy. Like, this world is concerningly getting laggy now. Like, the chests aren't opening. Oh, okay, right. Everything's broken. There's nothing in that chest. Right, there's meant to be stuff in the chest, so just... No, let's just move on to another room. We'll leave that. Everything... Great. 2012 was added the second update to Minecraft 1.1. Also, I'm going to rank each update. In my opinion, I think 1.0.0 is probably, like, I'm honest, it might be I'm going to say, like, it's probably like one of the best updates ever, like the third best Minecraft update, I think, in general, because it changed the game. It added so much stuff that it's just like it just added everything. Like, it added so much stuff, and then 1.1 added barely anything. I don't know if it's going to show it. Okay, it actually has this time while they're actually working. See, I guarantee it's just that room that's making it laggy. It basically just added spawn eggs for all the mobs. like chicken, cows, pigs, sheep, wolves. Yeah, wolves. Okay. And squid, villagers, mushrooms, creepers, drown, skeletons, spiders, enderman, cave spiders, slime, and the final ones, silver are no longer gas, magma cubes, lasers. Yeah, and zombified piglin spawn eggs as well, zombie. Which really is it's just a pigman. Like, it's just a zombified pigman. That's what they should be. But now they're called piglins because, you know, they kind of changed. They got rid. They didn't exactly kill the pig. Well, they did kill the pigman. Later on, you'll see the update. It's kind of sad. I feel like it would have been like there should be like a thing where you name a pigman, and it changes to it. I think that would have been a really cool touch, but they didn't do that anyway. That update is probably one of the worst updates. It literally just added spawn eggs. It's early on, so, you know. But it is probably like one of the worst updates ever to the game. Although spawn eggs are useful, that's it. That's all it added, just spawn eggs. 1.2 was a lot better in my opinion. Now, some people like to hate on this update. I still think this is a really good update in my opinion. It added the jungle biome, the jungle logs, the jungle leaf. It added the chiseled stone, I think, something like that. I can't remember the name because, you know, barely use these bricks. These chiseled stone bricks. Yeah, so it added chiseled stone bricks, redstone lamps, ocelots, the iron golem, fire chargers, jungle saplings. You're gonna move up, and bottle of enchanting. And yeah, in general, this update, I really like it. I think the jungle back then, like, I remember like the jungles were one of my favorite biomes from back in the day, because to me jungles felt like such a different biome. A lot of the biomes in the game early on were really boring, but the jungle was like something different. Like, to me, jungles were great, and I feel like jungles since like have kind of they've had very small updates, but people kind of like don't like jungles anymore. I feel like, and they used to be kind of cool as well because they used to be quite rare. Like, they used to be actually kind of difficult to get one. They used to have more purpose because ocelots used to once you fed an ocelot enough times and it started loving you, it became a cat, and that was how you used to get cats. That used to be a bit of a pain, honestly. Like, cats used to be actually hard. Now they are everywhere in villages and stuff since the village and pillage update, which we'll get to. But yeah, this update was really good in my opinion. I like this update a lot. Maybe it's like, I don't know if it's in the top 10. It might be like just out of it. I'm gonna give this update a 6 out of 10. I think the update was small, but it was a nice, decent update. And then there is 1.3. Now, 1.3 added quite a lot, honestly. Like, 1.3 in general is a big update. It added quite a lot. It added emeralds, emerald block, emerald ore, the ender chests. It added the what are they actually called? It just added the wood types. It also added more wood types. It added the yeah, it was just really impressive update, as it added the new wood types, like the yeah, because before they, like, a jungle used to make just oak, and then they added new wood types like spruce, birch, and jungle wood. These were all new types, variants. It added golden apples, emeralds, as I said, tripwire hooks, and book and quill, and all the new stairs and stone and sandstone stairs. I think it also added the desert temples, if I believe. And I think this update changed a lot. I think I think it added a lot of stuff. Like a lot of these early updates added a lot of stuff that is still to this day very like iconic now. Maybe that's because they are old. Like, it feels to me like a lot of the new updates don't add a lot of stuff that's like remembered and iconic, whereas a lot of this early stuff is stuff that's key today. Like, this is the update that made villagers tradable. Before, villagers was just kind of there, they didn't really do anything, but this update made villagers have a purpose, and it's just added a lot of incredible stuff. And for that, I'm honestly going to give this update an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's anything crazy, but it's a really good update. And it just added so much stuff. It did a lot for the game. And so did Wonder for the Pretty Scary update. This sure is a scary update, as it added some spooky things and some not so spooky things. Honestly, I think this is one of the updates that gets is like one of the most underrated updates. This update added a lot of stuff, a lot of cool things. People kind of don't I get really nostalgic looking back at the Pretty Scary like trailer announcement with like those you know, like the classic video and stuff in that haunted house. That is such a nostalgic video to me. And this update added all the different head variants, well, at least a lot of them, until very later on they added a new one. But at the time, these were the ones you got, like Wither, the skeleton, the zombie, the creep head, and the player head, which is Steve, of course. It added anvils, it added the beacon, oak buttons, it added flower pots, brick stairs, mossy cobblestone stairs. It added, I was going to say it didn't add glowstone. It added the rate disc, which I think is very fitting, because that is the disc that starts off quite disturbing and then it gets better, or like less creepy. It added the bat. Now the bat looks weird, because they did actually change the bat for some reason. I legit do not know why they changed the bat, but they changed its design. It used to look worse, but yeah, they've updated the bat now, so that now looks weird with everything else. The Wither, the Wither has to be built like this, because I'm not gonna lie, I may have accidentally spawned the Wither the first time, and it destroyed the entire room. Like, I had to rebuild all this room. So if I've missed anything out, then it's probably due to the fact it was there originally, and it got destroyed and then I forgot about it. But this is my interpretation of the Wither. A very cool mob, in my opinion, like boss mob. It's like the one after the Ender Dragon. It's actually really difficult. Well, it is, let's be honest. Like, it's not easy, you know. Like, at the time as well, that is such a cool mob. Like, in my opinion, I think that boss is really good. And the reward is obviously the beacon, which is used. It's very powerful, and even then, like, you have to. I think it's a really well designed mob, to be honest. This also added the Wither skeletons, which are really cool mobs. It added witches, which we all hate, but you know, they are quite a dangerous threat, especially early game. With the skeletons as well, very spooky. As I said, like the title just fits so well. And pumpkin pies, carrots, then obviously the Nether Star, because you know that's what you got for killing the Wither. It added poisonous potatoes, which have never needed to be in the game except for 1 April Fool's. Potatoes, baked potatoes, added item frames in general. Carrot on a stick. It added 2 potions. Let me I can't tell because they changed. It added night. It must have added night vision and slowness, or yeah, I think it added night vision and potion and slowness to the game. And that's why you'll see that before this they had chests, and now they have everything after this is with the item wise uses item frames, because item frames were added in this update. and they were kind of a game changer, to be honest. And that was this update. I think this is a really good update. I would probably say this is like a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. I love this update. It's very biased, but I do really love this update. I know it didn't. I don't know. I think it's really cool. I think the first update was really good. 2013. So now you might notice a slight change. The lab looking a lot more lab-like. That is because we are on the Redstone update 1.5. Which is of course the Redstone update. Now I'm gonna be honest, I'm very biased, but I don't know how to make redstone. Redstone is a very complex thing for I'm not a redstone at all. I am a builder at heart, and redstone has never been my thing. So, but I will tell you right now, one of my favorite blocks was added in this update, and it is quartz. The quartz block. Listen, I know now people hate this thing, but I used to use this quartz block on literally everything. Like, this was my version of using like the wall and stuff, and I know people don't like this anymore, but I think this is a really cool looking block. It gives me like a modern feeling, yet it's one of the oldest blocks in the game. Like, it's kind of weird. These are the ones we don't use anywhere near as much. I mean, the pillar's kind of cool. I never use this chiseled one. This one's weird. The redstone block's pretty cool for building certain stuff, but it is also used, I guess, for redstone, and the slabs and the stairs. The daylight sensors are like one of the things I've barely ever used. It added dispensers, droppers even, because since we're already going to get droppers, which are really cool. I think droppers are quite good. I can get them mixed up with dispensers, I'll be honest. I like that they have like a frog face. It's just kind of cool. It added heavy, it added a heavy pressure plate and a light pressure plate. It had hoppers, comparator, minecart with hopper, minecart with TNT, which is awesome, and quartz themselves, nether brick, and the nether quartz ore block in netherrack. So this update may, to me personally, not be that good. I like the quartz, but that's about it. Like, this update doesn't do much for me. So because of that, I have to be honest here and say this update is probably one of my weaker updates as a non-redstone. It did change the redstone community. I will not lie, and it did change a lot for Minecraft. And it did create some incredible YouTubers like Wombo Jumbo and that. The iconic redstone YouTubers, so that's cool, but if I'm being honest, don't like this update that much compared to the ones before it. So I'm gonna say a 5 out of 10. That's being nice, by the way. I could give it a lower score, but I'll give it a 5 out of 10 as it did do quite a lot. And we're still in 2013, because in my opinion 2013 was a very, very good year for Minecraft, because it just added so much stuff. And we had the 1.6, the horse update. Now, people hate on this update, and I can't blame them, because it doesn't do much. But I'm not gonna lie, I think horses are really cool. I like horses. I know nobody ever uses them, but like, horses were really cool, because I feel like in the early days, this felt like the cowboy update to me. I feel like this is when we got a little western and started adding cowboy related into the game with all of the terracotta that used to be called clay. Yeah, so this used to be called clay. Now there's clay blob. This used to be called like different clay types, and then they added and then changed it to terracotta, and And some of them are really cool. Some are ugly, but this, like, listen, we went, like, this was a game changer, all right? We went from having wool to terracotta or clay blocks. And these clay blocks just did so much to the game, in my opinion. It just added so much stuff. We got the leash, we got the horse armors, name tags, a bunch of wool carpets as well, which are quite useful. Certain stuff. We got donkeys, which are kind of funny. Horses, which are by far the best. And mules, which are probably the worst one. We also got the April Fools was actually added to the game. The coal block. And the hay barrel. Hay bale. I don't know why I said barrel. Hay bale. Which is actually used to feed the horses, which is really cool. So, like, this update was really cool. Do you know what we had before? We had to ride on pigs before, right? This made us be able to ride on something other than a pig. On a horse, on a donkey, and a mule. I like this update. I think it's a pretty good update. I like it for the Western theme. It made cowboy-related stuff a lot cooler. I know if I was doing, like, YouTube back then, I would have definitely done some kind of Western thing. With this being when this was around as the big new update. Oh. No. How has that even occurred? Moving on. Oh, we have made it to 1.7. The update that changed the world. And this was an update that changes the world. You already know what I'm about to say. This was a game changer. This really was, in my opinion, in the top 3 best updates ever. It just made the world so much better and did so much to the game, in my opinion. This was, again, in 2013, and obviously this is based... So all these updates till, like, this was the update that I do my survival series on, which is called The Good Old Days, and it's played back in 1.7, so like 10 years ago now, so it fits perfectly. I think this was a really cool update. It added 2 brand new biomes, the Dark Oak Forest and the Acacia Savannah. It added the Savannah, which was really cool. It also added the I think it also, yeah, it did. It also added the Mesa biome to the game. The Mesa and stuff. Although I think apparently it's called the Badlands now. That's kind of stupid. Like, you know, why would you change the name from Mesa to Badlands? You know, I mean, fair enough. But yeah, it added stained glass, like coloured stained glass, which is something that, again, people wanted for years, and they did it. They finally added it. It added ice, not ice blocks. It added a new type of ice. I think this is packed ice. It added Podzol this time. This is Podzol this time around. It added the oak sapling, the dark oak sapling, even the dark oak leaves, red sand block. And this was also an update that is very sad for some people. I don't really care, but it's like, whatever. Which was they changed the poppy. No, they changed from rose to poppy. This used to be a rose. And then I can't remember. I know there's like a main reason why they changed it from the rose to a poppy. I can't remember why though, but they did. They changed it, and now it's known as a poppy, which I kind of prefer. Like, I don't know. I feel like a poppy works better, especially for like you know, like the war and stuff. Like, it works perfectly for that kind of stuff. So overall, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, like, it works perfectly recently because, you know, like, we had D-Day recently, so poppies would have worked well for that. And obviously, yeah, you have all the Remembrance Day and stuff like that. I mean, so I kind of prefer the poppy. But if you prefer rose, then fair enough. Yeah, the dark oak log, dark oak stairs, wood and planks, as well as acacia versions of all of them. The acacia sapling, the acacia leaves. Now, acacia trees are normally known as ugly, and this is like one of the most ugly buds apparently, but I think it's very unique. Like, I feel like I use acacia more than dark oak. It added a bunch of new flowers, which is cool. I guess it, you know, changed the word a bit. It also had a pufferfish, a tropical fish, also known as Nemo, and added the normal fish. Now, even though this is a salmon, back then it was just a fish, because later on they changed it. But originally, I think it was 1.13 when they changed basically all the, like, because that was aquatic update, and that's when they changed all the stuff. So instead of being like just a normal fish, they made like salmon and cod and all that. But so really this should be fish, but it's salmon because I'm playing on the newer version so I can have the newer updates. So yeah, sadly that is that, but that's meant to be fish. And that is the update, and I think it was a really cool update. I like this update a lot. I think this update, honestly, for a Minecraft update, it added a lot, and so I think it did a lot to the world. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Again, I'm being really nice. 2014, 10 years ago. Wow, can't believe that was 10 years ago. We are on to the first update. I see the first update. Well, no, maybe this is still the first era, but essentially, I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the update that I first played the game ever. And it was at a friend's house, because I remember the I don't know why, but I remember the Bountiful update a lot, and I feel like it's because at the time it was the brand new update. So the Bountiful update 1.8, and this is this added a lot. I remember when I was making this, I was quite shocked that this added so many things that yeah. So first of all, we've got all the new blocks and stuff like that. It added I think that was water breathing. I feel like this was the update that added water breathing. I can't remember. And that's water breathing. Yeah, water breathing. Yeah. It added mutton, because if before this update, if you killed a sheep, you just got wool and you wouldn't actually get any food from it. But it added mutton, cooked mutton, and it added rabbit stew, rabbit hide, rabbit foot, the lucky rabbit foot. It added slime blocks, wet sponge, dry sponge. I thought I already looked at red sand. Why are there? That's a little error. Okay. It added one of my favorite lights to the game, sea lanterns. I love sea lanterns, and they're one of the coolest lights. It added the other version of coarse dirt, granite, diorite. Yes, this is probably why Yiscal hates this update. And I can never say this one. I don't know why, but I always forget the name of that one. It's andesite, that's it, andesite. And then added polished versions for each one. It added rabbits to the game. They're cool. I remember the killer bunny was like a big thing back in the day. I feel like wasn't the killer bunny in the game at one? I don't know. I feel like it was actually a thing. I can't remember if it was just like a YouTube thing, or if the killer bunny was actually added into the game. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. In here is a guardian because it added Guardians, which I love this update. This update is really cool. It added Guardians. It also added the Elder Guardian, which absolutely terrified me as a kid. I'm not kidding. I actually hadn't. I think it put me off the game because when we were swimming by with my friend at my friend's house when we had the Bountiful update, that's why we came across an ocean monument and we swam by it, and I got the most horrific, like this awful jump scare. You know, the Elder Guardian jump scare, and honestly, it actually frightened me to death. And it was terrifying. Yeah, that was really, that was a scary update for me. It added trapdoors, well, iron trapdoors. It added trapdoors in general because we didn't have the other trapdoors until very later on. So the iron trapdoor was added, and all new door there. This is why this update was such a big shock to me. It added all these new door variants: spruce, birch, acacia, that's jungle, even jungle, acacia, and dark oak. Fences, doors, and gates. It also added the armor stand, which in Bedrock Edition does stuff like this. Cool, right? We got all of this prismarine wall, and other ones like stairs block and stuff. The other prismarine, and another dark prismarine. Added prismarine shards, and the prismarine lights, whatever, like the stuff. I don't know. So this was a big update for the game. Again, another major update. I love this update. It just made the oceans better. Like, they still weren't perfect, but it is so cool to me. Like, you know, like I feel like the structure that I forgot the name of again for some reason. That structure is just so cool, and it just added so much to the game. I just like it so much. I feel like this really was a great update to the game, and I also feel like this was an update that was the final update of the first era of Minecraft, which was when before Microsoft took over. This was the final update, and it was a great update to end on. And 2015 was a year that was quite sad, honestly. Like, that year didn't have much. After this, we had to wait a whole next year, 2016. And yeah, warning, Microsoft now owns Minecraft. And oh boy, I think if it wasn't for a certain thing, this will be one of the coolest updates ever added to the game. Also, I forgot to rank the Bountiful update. The Bountiful update, that gets let's say, I think an 8 out of 10. I don't think it was as good as the update that changed world, but it was a really good update. And 1.9, the combat update. Oh my, this update added a lot of cool stuff, and it really was game changing, but it also was game changing for the wrong reasons. So in one way, I love this update, and in another way, I hate it. Well, a lot of people hate it. Now, because of Bedrock, I'm very thankful that Bedrock Edition and Console Edition and all that, it's only Java that's really affected by the combat. And I used to play a lot more Bedrock and Console than Java Edition, so the combat doesn't affect me that much, really. But I understand if you hate it. But this added end crystals, shulker boxes, beetroot. I remember beetroot was like the most that I remember when this used to got meme on, like people like, oh my god guys, they finally did it, they added beetroot, and it was like a joke because, you know, nobody cared. Like, beetroot is just, it's like wow, that's so cool. Beetroot seeds, beetroot soup, those things, the shulker, shulkers. It added all the new it added purple blocks, endstone bricks, more purple and endstone stuff. It added a new type of light that I always forget the name of. End rod, which I think is quite cool. It's a bit different. It's a very unique type of light, so I'll give it that. This added a game-changing thing like the Elytra, which is probably like one of the most popular things ever. It really did change Minecraft. Like you used to ride around on horses, and minecarts was like the fastest travel, and then you could fly now with an Elytra. It was insane. You were like, it was like you could become like a superhero when the Elytra got added. Although I do remember you the funny thing is, I remember you couldn't actually fly like for long because of fireworks, I think, or something like that. Like I remember fireworks were like a major, weren't added at the time, so they weren't exactly in the greatest condition at that point in the game. Added one of the most useless things ever. Lingering potions. I don't ever use them. I know they're used for arrows, but like I just never use them. The shield was added. This was what made the combat thing. So before you used to be able to block with your sword, and then they obviously changed it, made it so you can't block with your sword, and added a shield now. So that was a thing, which is, yeah, a thing that I think it's kind of cool. I like the shield, but you know, is what it is. This is the mob that they added for this update. The shulker. It's quite cool. It's got some unique things, and it's a very unique design. I quite like it, honestly. Yeah, I said, it added chorus fruit and chorus plant. It added the Ender Dragon head, which is a really cool Ender Dragon head. I mean, that has not gone as I planned it to. I thought I'd just go straight through, but no. Is what it is. It added chorus fruit. I said Dragon's Breath and the shulker. Like head part of the shulker shell, I think. So like this update, the combat, if it wasn't for the combat, which was a major thing, I think this would be one of the best updates ever. It really did. It made the end incredible. I mean, I know people want like the end to be updated now, and I think I do agree. I think the end now needs an update, because it has been literally like 8 years or something stupid like that since this update. Now it's been like 8 years, so like I feel like it is about time they update it again. But when like the end was really improved, no one went to the end basically before this update. The end was like you went there, you killed the end dragon, and that was it. It was that was it. You know, you never went back. But then this update changed it, and it was like, oh, you can go to the end cities once you've killed the Ender Dragon and stuff, and do a bunch of cooler stuff. And the end just became this way cooler place, and it was just it was literally such a game changer for that. And the fact this update added the Elytra, like, wow, like it really did add major things. Shulker boxes, storage. Like, could you imagine having to still have just chests and ender chests? That's it. Imagine not having shulkers in the game. Like, it did so much for the game. And that's why I say this feels like the second generation of Minecraft, because the first generation, this update just added so many upgrades to the game and a new era of Minecraft, in my opinion. Especially the fact that Microsoft owned it, which I think this was kind of the point when they started, like, this was before the whole microtransaction, I think. And I think it's like the update after this, maybe, or somewhere near then, when they did a lot more. But yeah, this update was a major update. So I know some people hate it, some people love it. I think overall, because the combat personally didn't affect me that much, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. I would put this higher, I think, but it did change the combat, so I'll lower it, because I know if I put it any higher, people will kill me. But yeah, that was 1.9, the combat update. Moving on to probably the worst update ever. Now, it was in the same year, 2016, so you know that's something. At least it wasn't. But this is the Frostburn update, and this was when basically Minecraft kind of. This was the dark ages of Minecraft, essentially. Like 1.9 pissed people off, and then 1.10 basically made people quit the game. This was a really dark time for Minecraft, and I would probably, yeah, I would say this is the laziest and worst update ever to the game. It literally added polar bears, strays, husks, this block that I don't even know the name of, and magma block. Nether red, in fact red nether brick. So on the snow block, yeah, and that is literally it. That is all it added. It just added barely anything, and the stuff it did add wasn't that cool. A very boring update. A very boring. Nothing to comment. Like that's honestly like a 1 out of 10 in my opinion. This update just did nothing. It did nothing. It was really bad. And then we move on to, I would say, another like people say this is another bad update, the one after this one here. But I genuinely think this next update was really good. I think it's just that everyone went off Minecraft, so everyone hates this update for that reason. But I think this is one of the most underrated updates ever, personally. And I can see that it is. I don't know why. Why? Or whatever. 1.11, the exploration update. This, I really like this update, right? And I honestly, I wouldn't say this was as much as a game changer, but it did add a very important update item, and it also just it made one of the coolest structures, in my opinion. It added one of the coolest structures in the game. So let's start off simple. It added more color to the shulker boxes. After 2 updates, they decided to do something out for the shulker box and just add all the different color variants, which is cool, I guess. I don't really care. Like, it's what it is, you know. It also added this thing, the Totem of Undying, and the Totem of Undying is extremely, I mean extremely game changing, especially in today's Minecraft society, like today's Minecraft era, because hardcore mode would be just, it wouldn't be the same. Like hardcore mode with the fact that this exists, it just makes, you know, it's why people can do hardcore mode, basically. Like without Totems of Undying, hardcore mode would be a lot less popular, and survival hardcore series would be a lot less. Like the whole survive 100 days in hardcore mode, you know, like all of those videos, you know. And in a way, maybe it would be better without them, but they started off cool, and we wouldn't really have anything like that if it wasn't for the Totem of Undying. So I think people should like appreciate this update a lot more, because it really did add a very key and important update like this to Totem of Undying that just, yeah, did a lot. It also had vexers, which kind of hate, and I've always had a hatred for vexers. They are so annoying, and they even killed than TDM's hardcore series off, so that's kind of sad. It added llamas, and honestly, the only reason I love llamas is because you could put carpets on them and customize them, and this is by far the best one. Like this is just such a cool look. I just love it. This is such a cool llama design, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I like them. They are just kind of like very, very similar to horses, so you know they're not that great, but they're decent. Now we've got the evoker and this one I can't remember the name of. So many pillager types now. It was the Vindicator. Yeah, so you've got the evoker and the Vindicator. The evokers are one of the coolest mobs in my opinion. I just love how they are evil villagers, and this one especially can, well, first of all, it creates vexes, which can be frustrating and really annoying, but it also has that cool thing from the ground that like rises up and attacks you. Like, I think this is a really cool mob. I like it. I love how it summons other enemy mobs, and I think it's a really cool mob. Evokers are, they are underrated. They are really cool. They also are the thing that makes it so if you kill them you get a totem of undying. Like, that's cool in itself. And the Vindicators are also pretty cool. They are a lot more simple, but I kind of just love that they're there like the little servants, and you know, like the minions that just run around and they have axes and they try to attack you, and they are pretty damn powerful. Not as powerful as evokers, but they are still pretty damn powerful. So that's got to be something, surely. This also just added an incredible structure, the Woodland Mansion. It might be rare, but I love this structure. I think this structure is so cool. It's like a giant mansion, and there's so many little Easter eggs. All the different rooms, like the map room and the giant rooms with different like and structures and stuff like that. I think this is such an underrated update. I love this. I think this is a really impressive update. People go like, oh, this update's not very good, but like, it literally added one of the biggest structures to the game ever. Some of the coolest mobs ever. And I think, and one of the most major important items to the game ever. I think the fact that it didn't add many things in general, like it added a new structure and stuff, but like block wise, it added barely anything new. It literally added no new blocks, unless you count this. So, I think that's why people hate this update. Don't like it that much. But, although it didn't add loads of new stuff, the stuff it did add was really good. So, I like this update a lot. And because of that, I am going to give this update a, let's say, I think maybe, yeah, I'd say like a 8. No, yeah, I think 8 out of 10. I know I haven't been giving out a lot of those. Again, I just like this update a lot. 2017 is the World of Color update, and it added a lot of color. But I gotta be honest, this is one of the worst updates ever to Minecraft. Like, it's not as bad as the Frostburn update, but it's also nowhere near as good as 1.11. Like, this is an update that should be hated on, because it's what did it add? Concrete powder, color beds, which, like, does anyone use any other colored bed except red anyway? Like, red's the only colored bed that people use because it's so, you know, classic and iconic. Parrots, which you can feed, you know, and these blocks that are never ever used. there's one block from these load of, I don't even know the names of the glazed terracotta. Alright, well, like, I just find this, I think this is a really disappointing update. It just didn't do anything. You know? Didn't add much. Nobody really cares. Like, builders, like, sure, concrete, it looks quite cool. It looks very different. Looks nicer than wool. It also did actually change wool, I think, and made it more nice, but yeah, I just feel like, especially with the time period where like Minecraft was at the deadest at this point, and everyone was like wanting something big for Minecraft again to bring it back, and this is what they gave us. Really, it's just kind of disappointing. So yeah, I don't like this update that much. I'm gonna give it like a 3 out of 10. I think it's very disappointing update. Didn't really do much. There was no new cool structure. Like 1.11, I'd have written one of the coolest structures. No like cool mobs or anything. Like, yeah, it really was just. And this is where we get to the origin, the origin of this lab. So basically, this was what the lab looked like originally. From this point onwards, everything that you've seen so far was made after everything you're about to see, essentially, if that makes sense. Because when I made this world, I made originally it on 1.13, and then over time went back later on and basically did all the older updates after that. So this is where I feel like I was a lot more, I wanted to make it simplified in the older ones, so you're going to see the rooms are going to get a lot more creative and a lot more advanced now, because I feel like now you're advancing a lot, and straight away we've added a whole new like this is the only time I've used glazed terracotta, I think. And it was to make a cool port, like teleporting thing. And we're heading into 2018 with the aquatic update, which 1.13, the aquatic update. Also, it's actually called Update Aquatic, but everyone just refers it to Aquatic Update, and I think it sounds better. So, yeah, everything looks very different. But also, this update added so much stuff that just, I can't believe some of these things didn't exist till this update, by the way. Apparently pumpkins didn't exist. I really don't believe that. But apparently they didn't. Neither did these. This block, I use a lot. I'm so glad they made it an actual block, because originally, this used to be just a slab. And then they finally, in this update, made it block for the form version, and it is so much easier and nicer. We got the bone block. We got the stripped versions of all the wood types. New trapdoors, which is crazy, because the only trapdoors before now was the trap, like the normal trapdoor, the oak trapdoor, and the heavy trapdoor, which was like, you know, which is just the iron trapdoor. Yeah, they were the only ones you had before now. And same with the pressure plates. Not many pressure plates till now. All of these ones here again, I said, like all the stripped ones and things like that, all the different variants. It added loads of coral blocks and dead coral. It added so many new mobs to the game. Drowned. Listen, I don't like drowns. Oh, okay, I've found an issue. I don't like drowns at all, okay? I think this update added some of the coolest things and some of the most hated things. Like drowned, I hate them. They ruin any fun that you try to have when you go in the ocean. But the oceans before basically were really bland and boring. So, you know. It added not squids. It added I don't know why. Squids have been in the game a long time before then. It added dolphins, that's it. Yeah, so it added dolphins, which are something that's quite cool. It added turtles to the game, which, alright, like a lot of these mobs are alright. Cod and salmon, I mean, I guess it can replace fish. More variants than just fish, fair enough. Puffer fish, actual spawn eggs for puffer fish, like actual things other than just the treasure. Tropical fish properly. The phantoms, the turtle shell, that thing, spectral arrows, the new potions, kelp, dried kelp, then this thing, seagrass, tridents were a big thing in this update. Tridents were really cool. They were really cool. I remember tridents were really cool at the time. Turtle eggs, phantom membrane, Nautilus shell, more types of spectral arrows, that weird water lighting. It says a Nautilus shell, dry kelp block with all the new bucket types, blue ice. I don't know why there's a shulker box here, but alright. All these. Wait. Why are these? Why are they there? I feel like there's a lot of errors for some reason here. But yeah, added all these new salmon types and everything. It just added a lot of stuff, like the turtles. It just added a lot to the game, in my opinion. I think it's a really cool update. So overall, I would say 1.13 Aquatic update is honestly getting a 10 out of 10. I think this update did what its purpose was. It was an incredible update, and I think it really was an update that brought back the Minecraft that we know and love, really. We've got 2019 next, which honestly has one of my favorite updates. I can't believe this was 5 years ago now, but like, I remember when this update hit and it changed. I feel like I've said it changed the game a lot with a lot of these updates, but this one, it really truly did. Like, an insane amount. So this update added a lot of stuff. To be quite frank, the Village and Pillage update did a ton to the game. It added bamboo, a lot of these things, like the smoker, the blacksmith table, I don't know what it's called, the cartography table, the grindstone, the lectern, the stone cutter, the bell, the campfire, sweet berries, loads of new variants of cats, pandas, foxes, a useless thing that we still to this day don't know when it's ever actually going to be used for anything. New types of wood signs, made wall variants for a lot of these. These not are all fully correct, by the way. Some of these might be incorrect, but a lot of these were not wall variants before then. I think this also added lanterns, which are really useful. It added a ton of new mobs, as you can see with spawn eggs. Why? I don't believe many of those are ones. It added the crossbow and apparently new stair. I feel like a lot of this isn't correct because I did this on my earlier days of this world, so now they're just straight up, because I don't even think I like researched some of these back in the day. I think I just was like, yeah, this is new, this is new, this is new, this is new, when some of this stuff probably isn't new. That's why I mean, like, this isn't fully accurate. It's more just my opinions on this update. I know it added wandering traders, which were absolutely choked to death. Like, nobody cared about these at all. Apparently it added all these new types of slab, which I disagree with, but alright. It added barrels, and down here it added the Ravager, which is turned completely black for some reason. I guess he can he move? I think he might be stuck in the wall. We've got the pillagers. They were really cool. They were a great addition to the evil villager. Like, you know, Evolver and Vindicator ready, now pillagers. And I just remember in general, like, the villager raids, it upgraded the villagers so much. Each village now had its new design, although they did get rid of Dutch Trayers, which is pretty sad, but is what it is, I guess. And just the raid system was so cool. I remember the Ravager being a stupidly difficult boss. I remember hitting it with a diamond sword to see how powerful it was, and it took so many hits. I don't know if they changed it, but I remember, like, early on, that was a major issue. So this update is getting another 10 out of 10 in my opinion. I honestly think this is the best. Like, the aquatic update, this update, and the next one is probably the best. Not the next one, the one after this one. This is the in-between update. 1.15, the Buzzy Bees update. This update didn't do much. I remember being quite disappointed with this update, but it also happened, like, in the late, I think I remember this specific month. I think this was added in December of 2019, like right at the end of 2019, just before COVID, funny enough, is when I think we got this update. And it was alright. I mean, it was very small, but its purpose wasn't. I mean, to be honest, this update was a book update, pretty much. Like, I mean, figuratively and literally, it was a bug update, as it added a new type of bug, which is the bee. It added honey. It also added the target block. I remember that was like a big thing. The target block was meant to be major, and how many times have people used it? Not much. It added the hives. It added another type of hive, and it added the honey block. Now the honey block itself is kind of cool, like a block of honey, you know, like and it's like slide down and stuff, and it slows people down. It's like salt sand. You also can't jump very much with it at all. Like, you can barely jump. Yeah, you can't jump much with it. It's pretty cool. So it's not that bad of an update, but it was a little update. So I'm only going to give it like yeah, I'm only going to give this update a I'll give it a 3 out of 10. I think it's up there with like the World of Colour. So wait, the next year ain't great. Yeah, I wouldn't go to that year. Well, it's just up to you. You see, do you know why? You can no. You can tell when I did this. Yep. Now, genuinely speaking, this was one of the best years for Minecraft in a long time. Didn't work. Unless it's just Pigman. I feel like it was called. Maybe it's just Pigman. No, not worked. Yeah, it would have been cool if they made that a thing, but they haven't. That would be nicest for it, but never mind. They did something crazy with this update, and I still to this day can't believe they did it, but they made something higher than diamond, and it is netherite, which was crazy. They added basalt stuff, blackstone, which is really cool. I use blackstone a lot. A warped fungus on a stick. Netherite, obviously, on all the tools and armor. That was crazy. It added netherite stuff, and the best music disc. I do not care. Listen, this legit. The first time I heard this, I was incredible. Pigstep is my favorite disc by far. You know what? I love this disc so much. I'm gonna play it. Just what we go for this room. Pigstep is incredible. If you disagree, then you're just wrong. And anyone that prefers Other Side and was a betrayer, like that clip of like the meme of it being Pigstep, and then all of a sudden this Other Side disc just comes over and just like gets rid of it. I'm sorry, but Pigstep is so much better than Other Side. Other Side doesn't even finish the song in a good way. Like it just ends in a horrible way. Like you'll see when I'll put that one even just to prove it afterwards. They added basically a ton of new stuff. They added these ugliest mob ever, which is the Strider. They have a cool concept, like going through lava. I do like that, but I never do it because it's a risk mob and it just looks hideous. I hate looking at them. I've had enough looking at it. Warped area is probably better than Crimson. I prefer the Warped Forest over the Crimson. I think this is one of the coolest looking wood types. I love the Warped wood. I don't know, I just love this so much. It added basically a bunch of warp stuff. Hoglin, also known as zombified Hoglin. These are kind of cool. They're like giant, like they're like that. Oh, what's it called? The animal from Lion King. I can't remember the name of it. You know what I'm talking about? That character. I can't remember his name now from like it's a thing from like. I think it's really cool. Added another type of salt soil. It added a chains. It added the loom. Is that what it's called? No, respawn. I don't know how to call it the loom. The respawn anchor where your place goes to. I was so confused, I remember at the time. I did not know what this did. But it's obviously a way so you can live in the Nether forever. I love the new blue fire they gave you. The blue torches are nice, and the blue, like the soul versions of all the like the non ones are really cool. Like this update just did so much. Like there was no need to add soul stuff. The respawn anchors and loads of new mobs, 2 new wood types. This new this update just added so much. It's insane. I think this is by far the best update. This does have to be another 10 out of 10 update, and it is my favorite update to the game ever. It made the Nether so much more enjoyable. The Nether is it used to be a sad place, and it was just not fun to go there. Like you'd go there one time to find the Nether fortress and, you know, get the blaze powder, and that was it. That's the only time you ever went to the Nether like that. And now the Nether is just so much better, and you go to the Nether so much more often. Like it's so much more enjoyable. Biomes in the Nether is crazy, but they're so good. It feels like I feel like this was like a mod. It felt like a mod at the time this got added, and now it's the usual. I will say it did make speedruns ruined by piglin trades and things like that. Like I think the piglin trades are cool, but it did kind of break speed runs, which is sad. But yeah, this update was insane. It's a 10 out of 10. No, it's the best update to Minecraft ever. I'm sorry everyone says that, but I've got to be honest. It is. It just straight up is. And I'm sorry for this, by the way. Younger me loved the memes, and because of how big this was at the time, I just straight up did it anyway. 2021. Oof, this was a big year. Caves and cliffs. Oh boy. I remember Minecon 2020. When they announced the Caves and Cliffs update, that had to be the best Minecon ever. I was so hyped because that Minecon was insane. It revealed it was the best Minecon ever, right, to be completely honest. It added so many things that were just insane to me, like, you know, like, the caves looked incredible, all the new biomes, all the new mobs. It revealed the Warden at the time. Like, everything's in the game now, and I think the caves are incredibly way funner now, and I love it. But part 1 basically was is like the creative part. Like, you couldn't obtain many of the stuff in survival basically, and I remember the time period where everyone was looking for, like, this was basically a point where wandering traders were useful for one time, and that one time was during between part 1 and part 2 of Caves and Cliffs, and that is because the people wanted moss, and the only way, I think it was the only way, it might have been another way, but most people tried to get moss by finding a wandering trader and trade the wandering trader for a block of moss and the block of moss, and then you used bone meal to get more and more of it, and that is how you got the mossy stuff. They added amethyst geodes though to the caves, and that was it really. Like, they didn't do much in that update survival wise, but they did make all the blocks obtainable in creative. So it added copper, which I've got to be honest, I actually really like. I think copper is a really cool block to make stuff out of. Building wise, I like it. I think it's a really cool block. And all the stuff, I barely use lightning rods, but that's cool. I feel like you could make like an abandoned facility or something with these like rusted ones and stuff. Like, I like the oxidized and I like the normal variant, and these are cool for like making a dystopian or like old looking rusted copper building or something, you know. Like, I feel like there's just so much building potential with these, and I feel like copper might go up massively now. Like, people don't like it, but I think with the new update coming tomorrow, I think people will prefer copper a lot more. It's because that adds some new copper stuff that we'll get to. But this is the amethyst geode. That's what makes those axolotls were cool. I don't think they're very like useful, but they are kind of like cool little mobs, you know. Like, just a nice addition, you know. Powdered snow. I hate powdered snow. It made climbing up the mountains horrible. Like, I've got to be honest. Listen, this is like, powdered snow is like the Drowned for this update, right? It was climbing up a mountain before this update was fine. It was good, I guess. And then when this update hit and they added powdered snow to all the mountains, they looked incredible and way cooler. But my lord, climbing up them with the powdered snow is such a pain. Now, I know there is an option where you could just get leathered boots, but be honest, who actually goes out and gets leathered boots to climb a mountain, you know? So yeah, it's just a pain. This added glow item frames because of the glow squid, which I hated, by the way. I that was the one thing from that Minecon I think that made it a lot worse. Do you know what I voted for in that Minecon? I think I voted for the ice illager. I thought that was such a cool thing. But we didn't get the ice energy. No, we got the glow squid, the worst one there. The glow squid looks so boring. I laughed my head off in that. I wish I recorded it, but I laughed my head off in that when they revealed a glowing squid as one of them. I was like, well, that ain't gonna win, is it? And guess what? It went and won. Now, certain people in the YouTube space, someone that's very infamous now, may have caused it. So yeah, great. I mean, the most credit I'll give it is it made us be able to like light up signs, which is cool. Like I liked glow signs with the dye the signs and glow and make them like glow now, like light up the signs is really cool. But that's the only credit I'll give glow squids because they kind of suck. I can't lie. They had a glow. I like the glow item frame doesn't even do anything for me. Like I'm not being funny, but what is the like? What makes that cooler than that? Like it doesn't even make it like bright or anything. Like when you stand next to them, like it doesn't do anything. Like it's not even, it doesn't even glow. Like it seems pointless to glow item frame, but whatever. It added the torch. The torch is really fun. It's I like torch. Good item. It added obviously the glow squid ink, which is what's used for the sign, so that's kind of good. But yeah, and it added other side, which is everyone that enjoyed Pigstead went, you know what, it's a new music disc, I think it's better, and for some reason they think this is better. I'm not being funny, but I'm gonna make us listen to this entire song. Like in general I don't like it as much anyway, but I don't understand how people like this more than Pigstep. Pigstep is just so much better. Like, it isn't bad. It's still a pretty good music disc, but the fact that people think it's better than Pigstep is just mind-blowing to me. Because it just straight up isn't. I can't wait for, like, the end of it when you get the horrific, like, end. Because, honestly, I want you to listen to the end of the song and tell me that's a good song. That's better than Pigstep. So we've got, obviously, these are really cool, the Amethyst Geode. We've got Tough blocks. Now, Tough was kind of a pathetic and useless block, is what I would say, until tomorrow when they made way more uses out of it. So at this point, it's kind of useless, but tomorrow it'll be a lot more useful. Calcite, that's kind of still useless. It's just inside the Amethyst Geode for a little bit, so not that interesting. The Amethyst block is really cool. I do like the sounds it makes and the crystals. That is a really nice touch that did not need to exist. We've got the Cloveberries, which are pretty cool for source, but I think it's mostly useful for this. They're not vines, are they? Like, oh, they are. Wait, you can climb up it? No, you can't. I didn't think it was like, they are. They're like vines. I didn't know they were like. I've only just learned that you can climb up Cloveberry vines. Wow, that's crazy. I like this as well, the Spore Blossom. It's a very weird looking block, like the hitbox. Like, look, if I hit here, oh shoot. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties, guys. Please ignore. Please ignore. Get ready for it. Get ready for the end, Mallory. I've done it. Fixed. Get ready for the end, Mallory, because this is where it gets weird. Here it is. See, I'm not being funny, but like, it just cuts off. It just cuts off at the end. It's got no, like, it doesn't slow, like, it slows down, but it doesn't like quietly stop. No, it just fucking, they just fucking make it cut. Like, I'm not being funny, but how can people say that this song is better than Pigstep? It already doesn't sound better than Pigstep, and then the fact that it just cuts out at the end. Like, no one, I've not heard a single person talk about the fact that that song does that. I think it's clearly obvious the Pigstep is way better than this. You know, if people want it, I'll make it like a music disc, tier list thing or whatever, like a ranking. I'm gonna rank them all if that's what people want. But I'll wait till the actual update's out so we can rank the new free ones. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'll just give a little spoiler. The new free music discs are incredible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they are really damn impressive. Like, it's really impressive to see where Minecraft has come, like, gone through over the years of music discs. Except for that can stay rubbish. Anyway, this is the lush area. So we've got, obviously, we've always talked about the berries. We've got the, like, lush trees, not coarse dirt, I don't know what it's called, rooted dirt, I don't know, the moss block. Obviously got the these, which are kind of cool, I like them. Dripstone, yeah, I like how you can put them upside down, like on the scene, but also on the ground. I think that's kind of cool. I love how, like, you step on it and it kind of breaks. They obviously changed all the ores, made deep stone versions of them all. Raw, this is, yeah, so this update also changed how you got iron. So you used to mine the iron ore when you got iron ore, then you smelt it, but now you get raw iron. Is it just called raw iron, or is it called raw iron ingot? It's in. What's it even look like? There it is, raw. It's called raw iron. So yeah, you get that now. Obviously you used to just get the iron ore, but yeah, that was a little thing. I think that's a nice touch. I will say this about the powder snow, by the way. I like this effect. I think this is really cool. I think that's cool. But, like, the block itself is very annoying. Goats are kind of this thing that isn't that useful, but it's cool enough, I guess. I remember the whole thing with goats, by the way. I remember they added, like, a goat horn, and it was gonna originally just be a goat horn that, like, was a thing, and then they removed the goat horn, and I remember people were like, what's happened to the goat horn? And then they brung it back, and it had all these new sounds, and it was honestly pretty cool. Like, where is the goat horn? Or is it not in that? Is it not in nature? Alright, maybe it's in items. It might be in items, actually. No, it's here, isn't it? Yeah, here it is. The goat horn. Which one is it? Is Pond? I think it's Ponder. That's the best one. Yeah, that's the best one by a long shot. Candles were kind of cool. I remember the first time we saw candles in that in that scene with the where we got introduced to the warden for the first time at Minecon that time. That was like, you were like, oh my god, there's candles, wow, a new type of a really cool source. I feel like candles is very useful to make, like, medieval themed stuff and all of that kind of stuff. I think that's really useful for that kind of section of era. Also, this added, so there's so much stuff. Like, honestly, the Caving Cliffs added so much stuff. It's incredible. I enjoyed building so much out of this type of block, but this block here is one of my favorites. The Deep Slate. Deep Slate is one of my favorite blocks. I love to use Deep Slate. Polished Deep Slate is incredible. Like, Cobble Deep Slate's cool, I guess, but the one that I really like is, like, Blackstone was called the update before, but then they added Deep Slate, and Deep Slate is just so nice. Deep Slate tiles is cool. I love Deep Slate bricks. Like, those two blocks I use a lot, probably too much now, and I love them. I just think they're such cool blocks. But that is, I think that's everything. I think I've gone through everything. This update, part 1, I'll rank part 1 and part 2 in 2 different updates. So part 1, I think part 1 for all the new blocks and stuff, it was really cool, okay? Listen, I know Caves and Cliffs could have probably been the best update ever if part 1, part 2, and the world and related stuff in 1.19 were all in one update. Like if it literally was all in one update, like it was meant to be a Minecon, then this probably would be out the Nether update. But because it doesn't, it was all split up into 3 parts pretty much. It doesn't be out the Nether update because it's 3 different updates. And I think part 1 was cool for me because I'm a builder and the creative side, but like survival wise it didn't do much, and I'll get into survival wise in part 2. But part 1, I think I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 because I like it. I understand if we give it a way lower score because he didn't do much for the overworld and stuff at the time. It's just more for creative players, so you know, fair enough. And then we got a joke. Right, so this is what was added in part 2 of 1.18. The one new item was other side. So actually, I've made a mistake here. I know that for sure, by the way, because I made a whole. I remember like laughing my head off again at the time that we got all this stuff in 1.17, and then for 1.18. They gave us one new item, and it was the other side disc. Because I know for a fact that it definitely was 1.8 part 2 when we got this added, and it wasn't in part 1 because I just remember. So yeah, 1.18 added, part 2 added the other side disc. So you know, like that's not very cool, is it? Like that is basically makes the item wise and basically anything new wise, this update sucks. But that wasn't what this update was about. This update was about if I can find this update was meant to change the overworld, and I'll be honest, it really did. The caves were incredible. It added all the new biomes, and the new biomes were really cool. And deep slate, like the different levels, now it went way further down, and especially when we get to like the wood, and that makes that cool. But this is before then, and it was an incredible update. Caves are so much better now than they used to be because of this update, and for that it really is an impressive update. So because of that, I have to say that this update gets a I think it will get a I'll give it the same 7 out of 10. I think 7 out of 10 for both of the. Oh, for goodness sake, boom, like nothing happened. Right, I mean, move on to 2022, which was 1.19, which wasn't as a big update, but it was the wild update, and it was quite a disappointing update because everyone already knew what to expect with a lot of it. I think this update added a lot of useless feats. It added a lot of stuff that I just don't care about, and like I never use, to be honest with you, because it added frogs. I don't know the last time I cared about frogs. I guess this was the update that added horns, not 1. Yeah, that's what I meant, because they removed them and then they must have added them back in this update. Alright. Well, that still doesn't get any points, so. It added tadpole the buckets, like, wow. Everyone was going on about chests and boats. I never cared. I still, when they're added, I don't care. So yeah, this is made to make like the recovery compass, which I've never used. The music, I think finding the pieces of music disc is cool. And the result is a new version of 13 and 11. I do really like it. So I think it's pretty cool. I do like it. This is a nice block. Like, building wise, to make some kind of alien stuff, and I think some of these things are incredible. I love the way the warden works, where he like, it is terrifying. It is absolutely scary. I'm so glad that people actually are terrified, like actually scared. It makes the game way more creepy again. And it makes you feel like anyone that thinks they're overpowered and can take on like anything in the game, the Deep Dark really brings back that thing that you are a player and do not mess around, because it will. You can't mess around with the warden, it will kill you. And I think that's really cool. I don't know why this is here. It added mud bricks and mud related stuff. I like mud bricks. Listen, I think mud bricks are a pretty cool brick, like to build out of. I kind of like mud bricks. The mud themselves I don't care about, and mangrove is the least used wood for me. I have never really used mangrove wood. The tree is fine, I guess, and the mangrove swamp it's right. It is a nice to have a new swamp, but like, it's not a very common biome to get, so I barely ever come across it, so it's not that good for that. And roguelites are cool, but the way you get them is a joke. People get pissed off about this update because it didn't add fireflies. I've got to be honest though, I still feel like, for me personally, if fireflies were added, I don't think it would care. I honestly do not care that they didn't add fireflies, because I don't think I'd bloody care about them. I don't think I've used them. A lot of this update is just features I don't care about. Like, what carries this update by far, in my opinion, is the Deep Dark, the warden. But the thing is, that was meant to be in 1. That was meant to be in the caves and cliffs. So like, it feels like it's just been delayed. Now it has been delayed for the best, because now it's really, really good. Like, maybe it wouldn't have been as good as it is, but since they delayed it so much, it became really cool. But nothing game-changing was in this update. And a lot of the other updates were very game-changing. This is an update that wasn't, and it was very mediocre. Barely ever see the mangrove swamp. Allies are, by the way, allies are just kind of... I don't care about them. I really don't care about allies at all. Like, I didn't vote for them. Do you know what I voted for? You're gonna hate me for this, but I voted for the Copper Golem. And I wish it won, because that was just such a cooler mob than the ally. Like, really? The ally, that's what we're voting on? Okay. But, yeah, but, like, seriously though, it wasn't a very fun and crazy update. It was a time that I was like, yeah, I mean, I like these, it's a nice addition, but like, nothing game changing. Like, sure, the warden is cool and I respect it, but it's not game changing. So for that, it has to go lower down. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. and 1.20 in 2023, which was last year now. So this is the final update until tomorrow. So tomorrow, well, at least for me when I'm recording this, tomorrow I am going to be taking this wall down and start working on making my room for 2021. But this is 2020, and I'll say it right now, this was better than 29. This was better than 1.19. In my opinion, I think it's better than 1.19, but it also isn't up there with a lot of other updates from back in the day. I feel like this is another mediocre update. A lot of stuff I don't use. Cherry wood isn't really my colour. I'm not keen on it. You know, not really a fan of pink and stuff, so don't like it. I feel like it'd be cool in like a Japanese setting, but that's about it really. Like, it's not my thing. Sniffer, didn't vote for it. I voted for the tough golem. I'm not kidding. I think the armadillo was the first one that I voted for, and I actually got, and it won. Like every other mob vote before that, the one I voted for lost to another mob, which is very sad. But yeah, so didn't really care about the sniffer, and honestly, I think it's a cool looking mob. I like its animations, but I've never ever used it in the actual survival game. These are cool flowers, but I don't use them, so it's not really anything game changing. Bamboo is better, but I still don't like it that much. And camels I use more than sniffers, and camels are a kind of cooler mob, but they do feel very horse-like. Like they are just kind of a two-player horse. And they are, I like them. They are cool. They are kind of a nice addition to the deserts, because it adds a new mob to the deserts. I honestly thought this update needed more, if I'm being honest. I think what would have been really cool for this update, I had a whole prediction. And my prediction was they were gonna update the deserts because they added the camel. They revealed the camel for Minecon. It added a lot of stuff that they really care about. I thought they were gonna add way more to the desert. I thought the desert was getting like a whole revamp with loads of new types of deserts and just upgrading it, because it's one of the most boring like biomes, like areas in the entire game. And I just thought, because we're adding camels, that we're gonna do more with the deserts. I legit, one of my dream updates, which I mean, this is probably never, I don't know if this will ever happen, but I really want them to add like a whole Egyptian theme. And I'd love it in the desert if they made like a full on pyramids with like mummies in, and loads of like tombs and traps, like from like some kind of like loads of different like Egyptian traps and stuff, like stuff you see in like the Mummy, you know, like that the good one from like that like the Mummy, you know, that movie from like, I can't remember what year it came out. I think it's like 19 something. It's like one of the 90s, 19 something, 1990 something movie, the good one, the one from like the 90s. That movie, or maybe it was too far, I don't know. But that movie is really good, and I feel like if they did something like that in Minecraft, that'd be really cool. And I really thought we were getting that, but no, that was kind of it. Like this, I think one of the final things that got revealed was actually the cherry biome, which was cool, and I was like, yeah, that's good. I like the cherry biome, but like the cherry biome's cool, but it's not my type of thing, you know. The archaeology side is kind of sucks. I can't lie. I actually hate the archaeology. I think it's so boring, and I don't like it at all. The new signs, I remember again laughing my head off about this being the first reveal of Minecon that they revealed, and I was like, oh boy, this isn't good. I mean, pots are cool, but like, finding them is not fun. the suspicious version of these I don't really care about. The new Piglin head is very, very random, but cool. They also did the note block thing where if you tap on the note block, it changes the sound of it now, which is, I think that's a cool touch. The new bookcases, I think this is cool. I like the new bookcases. This is my little secret that I built. And going down here gets you into my probably the best bit of this update, the bit that's going to get it a few more points. The armor trims. I think the armor trims, this thing, I don't see a single who actually used this. Like, what? Who uses this? What did this even do? Sorry, but the armor trims are probably the best thing from this update. I think armored like outfits, I think that is so cool. For years I basically wanted this in the game for years. This is one of my most dreamed like things, and they've done it, and I'm so happy they have, and I think it's really cool. I just like, I think it looks so cool, especially some of them. Like this pattern looks really cool in my opinion. I love that they are harder to get as well. My only complaint is that they made Netherite a lot harder to get, which is, it's not like, it's not even harder, it's just more of a pain. Like the fact you need like a Netherite upgrade now to get it is so annoying. And yeah, really annoying basically. Yeah, that's this update. I think the music disc as well is very good. No one ever really talked about this update, but I like this. I don't think it's like up there with Pig stuff or anything. It's probably up there more with like other side. But it is a cool update. I like this. I like this soundtrack. I thought it was cool. No one really talked about this one. I do think the I'll make a soundtrack music disc ranking. But I'm gonna probably do that. Yeah, and the fact that I'm going on about music discs already. But that was this update, and that was in fact the entirety of this video. So if you learned something, which I doubt you would have, because let's be honest, like everyone kind of knows most stuff from Minecraft at this point, I think this video is more just like a look back to see where we really are in the moment. And I've got to be honest, I haven't seen any of them in person, obviously, because it's not out yet. But, and I don't want to spoil it. I know everything that's included in tomorrow's update, but I haven't actually seen it all in person yet. So I'm very excited to see it. And at the moment, before looking into it, I've got to be honest, I think 1.21, the Tricky Trials update is by a long shot the best update to this to Minecraft since since the Caves and Cliffs. I think, like, I think what we've learned through this video is they started off really well and they kind of started to lose. Then they went with some of the most peak updates ever, like with like the aquatic update, then the village and pillage update, and the nether update. Like, those three updates are incredible. I remember when they were all like that was like top Minecraft at the time. I think like that was probably even more popular than the old updates, which were still incredible. And then going to like the darker era where they kind of Caves and Cliffs was the beginning of a new kind of type, I think. The fact they had to split it up and it kind of affected them. And I feel like 1.20 was the next like kind of section. I feel like that was the first one that kind of went at like later on after the Caves and Cliffs. It felt like the Caves and Cliffs was like 3 major updates, and it lasted quite a few years to finally get out of that section. And I think 1.20 left me quite disappointed in the end. I think some of the ideas, some stuff is really cool. The armor trims are really cool, and I think what it is I just had expectations way higher than really what happened with this update. A lot of stuff that got added wasn't that cool in my opinion, and I wasn't exactly that impressed with it. I just saw more potential with this update. 1.21 at reveal, I already saw a massive improvement, but I wasn't mind blown at that point. But I think with everything for 1.21 now, it is definitely way better than 1.20. So I'm excited to see my full opinion. I'm really hoping that it is as good as I want it to be. And again, I feel like this, because this didn't really have a new structure properly. Like, are we really going to count the freaking archaeology thing as a new structure? Like, no, we're not. I feel like this update was very random. It didn't really focus on one thing at all, really. Like, it added a new cherry biome. It added bamboo for some reason. It added the new archaeology section, which had been announced since Minecon 2020. It added some random signs. It felt like this update added stuff that Mojang wanted to add to the game. And some of it is cool. I think the armor trims are a nice touch. Glad they're in the game. But yeah. But overall, there was a lot of stuff I don't care about in this update. And it didn't do much for me. You've like, if you saw my original series, well, like one of the first series I did with my mates on the Realm series, if you saw that, was like one of my first impressions of trying all the new stuff out, and I just didn't get engaged with it. I think that's why the series ended, really. Like, no one was on it, and I feel like people, like, we made that for this update, and it didn't really do anything crazy. Like, the armor trims were the coolest thing, and like, me and Archie went out searching for them, but that was it. There wasn't much to it, and yeah. But I'm really hoping this next update is a good one, and well, I can officially say this can go down, and we can start construction on 1.21. And it feels good to say that. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this whole way through. I know this is a long video, and I know I haven't uploaded in a long time, but I'm making up for it now because I've got a whole bunch of videos planned, continuing the life series with episode 9 of that, not the life of the Good Old Days series with episode 9 of that. I'm going to be making the video on 1.23. And I might even just have some other stuff planned. So subscribe, like the video, do all the fun stuff. And until then, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.